as you look up with your head. Yes, and some of you will take a couple of opportunities to do that correctly, and then come back down to the horizon. Yeah, and then look up with your head, but down with your eyes, and then back to the horizon. Now notice if that's changed your breath. We have to concentrate a lot more. It's a different thing. Just do that a few times. Down with your eyes, up with your head. What do you feel happening in your torso? Is it easier or harder to pay attention to what you're doing with the rest of yourself with this added complexity? Okay, pause for a moment. Okay. Now, look down to the floor, and you're welcome. You get to look down to the floor with both your eyes and your head, for now. And as you do that, notice what changes in your back. What shape does your back make? So you're going to go from the horizon to looking down with your eyes and your head. Can you feel your back rounded? Do that many times. How do you breathe with this movement? What helps the rib cage fold in this fashion? Breathing out or breathing in? Okay, pause. And now continue to look down with your face, but look up with your eyes. And when I do that, I immediately find my back is involved in a different way. It does not have the full rounding that it had a moment ago, and maybe that's to be expected since I'm not folding with all of myself. I'm not with my eyes. So continue doing that a few more times from the horizon with your face to looking down while your eyes go up toward your forehead. And then let that go. Take a moment. And then reprise the movement that we began with. Look up to the ceiling. Do that several times. Find something changed about how you do that. Can you see further? Or has the quality of the movement changed? And if you can see further, or you find that it's become easier in some regard, maybe we can reflect on, well, why would that be? Because what we have not done, you can rest if you like, what we have not done is we've not stretched. And what we've not done is gotten stronger. There's been no breaking down of muscle tissue and then regrowth over the course of 48 hours, right? We're not any stronger than we were. So what would it be that would cause us or allow us to look more freely? Well, I don't want to present myself as a guru. We have opinions and points of view. I guess I would just offer that it may be that we're more coordinated, that all of ourselves are more involved. It may be for some of us that there's less restriction in our chest and our sternum can rise more easily. It may be that some of us have less tension in our throat now and we can actually open up in that direction more. It may be for some of us that we hold on to our hip and now we don't after having involved our lower abdomen in this motion of rocking forward. And that's allowed our eyes. So those things may have happened, but how did they happen? Again, we haven't gotten stronger. Well, some of these weird combinations of movements that we've been doing break up the habits that we have and how we use ourselves. And then the nervous system is constructed such that it will integrate into more pleasing manner of operation if we allow it to, right? If we pay attention to it, if we take away the stress. This is how children learn. No one tells them how to crawl. They make 1,000 mistakes as they experiment, and then their system learns how to do it if they're healthy and functioning well. That's kind of the level of learning that Feldenkrais taps into. And what I think is so great for musicians is that's what we are faced with so often. We have the book of scales and we have the book of arpeggios, and those things work until they don't, right? We've all seen in ourselves and our students times where you could give them the Hanon book and say get to number 60, but there's something they're doing with their elbow, there's something they're doing in their breath or their attention that's just not going to help them. So we need other ways. If you've ever read of or heard the book, Soprano on Her Head, it's that idea. How can we manage into the art of learning through a side door where we don't have as many restrictions? And Feldenkrais method does not have a monopoly on learning in that way, but it has a real strong affinity for learning in that way. And that's why so many performing artists have found it to be useful for them. Let's continue. We have at least 10, 15 minutes left, yes? So sit forward in your chairs, and we'll continue with some of these variations. So this time, have your head hang down. Just completely heavy. And begin to arch your back as though you were going to be looking up, but you're not. You're continuing to let the back of your neck be very long, your chin tucked heavy down toward your chest. You arch your back, and then you go back to neutral. Don't hold the arch. Go back to neutral, keep the head hanging, and then arch the back again. And do that several times. Feel how it's lifting your head in space. Your top of your head is actually getting higher from the floor. But keep it oriented toward the floor such that your chin is still close to your chest. How do you breathe with this? Okay. Let that go. And again, look to the ceiling, find out where you're looking, feel the involvement with your seat, with your feet, with your shoulders, and from the horizon back to the ceiling, several times, 2 or 3 times. And then start to go both directions so that you round your back and you look downward with your eyes and head in between your legs, and then you arch your back and look up toward the ceiling. Find out how your sternum can rise and fall. Feel how your solar plexus can let go of any habitual tension. Notice how your shoulder blades can float on top of your ribs. Notice how the weight, it'd be hard in some of those chairs to feel, but how the weight shifts from the back side of your sit bones to the front side of your sit bones. Okay, let that go and pause.